What's going on? It's Ricki Sanchez. I'm backstage right now at River on the Rooftop with MGK.
Hey, guys, what up?
Our headliner tonight.
Hey, that's cool.
We are so psyched about this. People have been lined up since 7 a.m. for you.
Oh, dude, it never does not get flattering. That is so like, one of my favorite movies of all time is Almost Famous, and it teaches you the value of being a fan of music, and people look at those fans lined up and they're like, why would you be here? Why would you spend your time out here like this? And dude, this is like church. This is where a lot of people come and they're like, hey, for 30 minutes or an hour or however long the performance is, like, I get to escape from the cruel world that I live in, and I'm honored to be one of the vessels of that sermon. So
not only do they get to escape, though, but they get to escape with other people that feel the same way that they do.
For sure, and you get to smile and you get to close your eyes and sing as loud as possible. There's too much loud music to expose you to feeling like you can't scream if you want to. So I think concerts are one of the last things we got that's free.
And one of the last things that brings everybody together. It's the one thing that like crosses boundaries, crosses languages, crosses race, age, everything. There are people out there that are little kids, and then there are people out there that are like 60, 70 years old that are ready to like watch you. And that is so cool. It's one of the very unique things that we have that brings us all together. So
I'm happy to be a part of their life journey. I want every night I go out there, and this is one of those things where I'm like, as extreme as it sounds, it's almost like I'm ready to die. Like I'll give every last bit of myself on the stage. I don't ever go on and think about anything other than the purity of expression. There's people that come for money. There's people that come for fame or exposure, and then I come from a place of I need this. I need to get these feelings out, and I want to relate. I want to see people that are people that I want to connect with like-minded people.
I think that's really brave to say,
Yeah.
Because I think it's harder for people to relate on an emotional level. It's very easy to be like, oh yeah, I love this for the money, I love this for the fame, I love this for whatever. But to be able to say, no, this is a pure emotional experience for me, like almost kind of selfish, but in a way it's like selfish for you because everybody's relating in a way and getting together in such a beautiful, magical place to just feel something that they probably don't get to feel on a daily basis.
Yeah. No, sound is God.
I love that. I love that. Okay, I want to talk to you a little bit.
Does anyone have a Tylenol?
You got a headache?
Yeah.
Ooh, do we have Tylenol? Anybody? Okay, we're going to get Tylenol. Okay, so you've done your thing in so many different genres across the board.
Thank you.
Is it safe to say that you are now officially working on a full country album, or are you just kind of dabbling right now?
Oh, that would be a negative.
No full country album.
Negative, yeah.
Just dabbling? Just kind of doing your thing?
I mean, I respectfully dabbled.
Okay.
I think when I made the guitars on Lonely Road, I spent so much time on. Literally, I can say years. It was 2 years working on this song. I spent years trying to craft the guitars to be the perfect blend of folk, country, and rock. And the cadence that I delivered my lyrics in, I tried to be the perfect blend of emotional singing, rap, cadence, and pop punk, and ballad rock.
Okay. So speaking of Lonely Road, you guys had quite the journey, you and Jelly Roll, to make that song. Like you just said, years.
Yeah.
And not only just years to create it, but years of a friendship that went through turmoil, and you guys...
So many ups and downs in that friendship.
But I love that because the beauty behind that song is the ups and downs that you guys have gone through. Yeah. I watched you interview him, which I'm not going to lie to you, made me a little nervous because I'm like, I'm the interviewer. Having somebody who has interviewed someone or had that kind of conversation, I'm like, oh no, he like knows what are good questions, what are bad questions, what works.
I'm over here
and I'm like, oh no, that's what I was thinking. I was like, this man's about to judge me hard for these questions. But Lonely Road, #1 trending on YouTube. Major congrats on that. That's huge.
I was stoked. I felt for a minute there, I was feeling like the art of music videos was lost.
No, we still love that shit, especially
but
like
it
millennials.
Got turned into so many shorts and so many. It became like you almost saw the video before you needed to go watch the video.
Right.
And you see 40 seconds of a video versus the 3 minutes and 30 seconds of a video, and the 3 minutes and 30 seconds is so important because with Lonely Road, I was like, this is a story.
Right. You need the
Yeah.
full version in order to get the full
So
vibe.
when I saw that come out the gate and get that number one trending, and it was 1 million or 2 million views a day for 2 weeks straight, I was like, oh, this is the best feeling
So
ever.
you're not working on a country album, you said,
I am
but
not.
I will say, when you were 25, you went on the Breakfast Club in New York City,
Okay.
and you said, "quote My best work isn't even out yet." This is
Yeah.
when Fader they were like, "No, we're never gonna work with you.
Yeah.
And we're never gonna do anything with you."
Yeah.
And a few weeks back, I saw you posted on your Instagram story, and you said, "This is the greatest album you've ever created, or greatest work you've ever done."
Yes, and then after that will be, hopefully I will still feel the hunger enough to be like, but it's still something greater is still out there
But
waiting
what
yet.
makes this one so great? Like, what makes this the greatest you've ever done?
I think because I'm understanding the message that I have to channel for others. Um, before with the last two albums, Tickets and Mainstream, I was like curating a life playlist around me, but the life that I was living, was so much different than the kid from Ohio 10 years ago.
Right.
And, there's private planes and red carpets and, 1 million people around and all that stuff
Can't
like
talk about the
that.
same stuff you used to be able to talk about, right?
But then I finished that stadium show in Cleveland. It was the last show of my tour, this arena tour, this tour that I always had dreamed of doing. And then it was over, and I sat in the middle of this empty stadium. I fell asleep there.
You fell asleep there?
I did. And
overnight?
Yeah. Well, it was 6 a.m. when I decided to lay my head on the concrete.
Okay.
But I laid there, and I felt like someone pressed a restart button on my career, on myself. And
now you're able to work on the greatest thing you've ever done.
I just feel like I'm back at ground zero, and like but I have no chip on my shoulder this time, and it's like I can just make music for those who need a voice to speak for them. And I guess the ingredient that I put into this writing and into the music that's happening is like maturity.
Okay.
Right. So that
Growth.
excites me, and that's why I said this is the greatest work I've done yet, because the message, I believe, will be a really, it's Lonely Road is a good reflection of the message that, or of like an example of a song that has a strong message that kind of can reach everybody.
I think the growth is beautiful though too, because I mean, on social media, everyone calls you the communication king. Everyone's
What does that
look at
mean?
so for instance, in these moments where you'll say something, and then like with Bunny, there's that clip going around where you wanted to blow menthol in her eyes so that she could cry, and she's like, "Oh, can I get some water?" And you were like, "Do whatever you want."
Oh,
But then you came back and you were like, "I just want to say I didn't mean that as like me saying like do whatever you want." I genuinely.
Yeah.
And then there's another moment.
I was so scared of my tone when I said that.
Well,
I'm so
but
like,
that's the beauty of growth.
my anxiety is so like, and
But that's also the beauty of growth, is that you realize that like that tone might actually mess somebody else up more than it messes you up in that moment, where you might be like, "Oh, that's not what I thought of originally," but like it's fine, and you might have like all these thoughts going in your head, but you're like, "No, I'm worried about how you feel right now.
Yeah.
I didn't mean that."
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
growth, dude.
Yeah.
Like that's massive growth. That's huge for anybody. And we don't know each other personally, but I'm proud of you for that. Like that's huge. He's like, "I'll take that entire Tylenol. Don't you worry." But that's huge growth, and I am proud of you, even though we don't know each other personally, as someone who's gone through her own things and therapy and everything. Just even though it seems small and it seems so normal to you, and you're like, "Oh yeah, no, I do that now." People notice.
Thank you.
And that means a lot to those people. There's even other moments where you've gone back and been like, no, I mean this. And that's huge. So what you're doing is working, and keep doing it. Everyone's so proud of you, and they're noticing.
Thank you. That makes me really happy. I'm not one to like care about people's opinions about the music I make or anything like that, but as a young man growing into a man,
as a father,
yeah, that's probably a better way to
put
it. I guess, I mean, growing into a lot of things, I think before you're not realizing your impact on other people, and you wanna. I'm bad at talking about myself, so
no,
then you can skip
okay,
that. I just leave it at what you said. I'm not good at this.
okay.
I'll tell you right now,
anybody compliments me, and I'm like, Yeah,
Yeah,
and I'm
I
like,
didn't know how
where can
to.
I run away to and hide in a
Uh,
corner? Please don't say anything to me. I will say, you talked about your process of your ego death. The fact that as long as you're creating conversation with your art, that you're doing your job, which I think is a beautiful way of talking about music and the idea of switching genres and doing and impacting everybody in different genres. What conversation are you looking to create right now in this like new? It seems like a new era of MGK. We just talked about your growth. We're talking about you dabbling in country music. This is a new era. What conversation are you trying to start? If you even know, it may not even be that you know, but oh no, I got you. I got you.
hmm.
I'm sorry, I got real deep
I'm
on
kind
you.
of no, it's not at all. Uh, Obviously, that was a that's what she said moment right there. But uh, I
You're good. You're good. You're so good. You're so good. I'm
uh,
happy you said that because it's one of those things you think and you're like, I'm not gonna say it. So
yeah,
if he doesn't say
yeah,
it, I'm not gonna say it.
yeah. I just don't know if I care. Don't know if I care what the I honestly have been picked apart so much from headlines and complete misinterpretations of my persona versus my actual person that I really just want to make music and have people listen or don't. And I would really be happy if the conversation was more so around the art that I make versus like controversies that are continually pushed uh,
You want the music to
from a
speak for
place of
itself?
desperation of
Oh,
hatred,
okay.
right? Like I don't I can't I can't I can't tune into people tearing me apart anymore.
It's
It's
hard.
yeah, yeah. So the conversation I create, I don't know. I'm open for all of it, but I am done observing it,
Okay. No, I love
or else
that.
my music will be completely tainted. I can't create in a studio where voices like between demons and angels. Sometimes it'll eventually they'll just mesh, and I won't know what's talking to me. So I just need to channel the spirit, and that's it.
I think that's beautiful. My last question for you is: you're holding a crystal. What crystal is that, and what
Uh,
is it for?
Well, this one I lost my amethyst on stage with Jelly when I came out
Oh,
with him. I jumped and I knew exactly. I wore these stupid pants with the stupidest pockets of all time. Like the pockets are like this big, and I had been charging this crystal in my hands, it was just a really beautiful full moon or a new moon that I had charged it in, and felt it fall out, and I had had that one for years, and I really just didn't want to ever
oh
lose that one,
no!
and
I'm
I
so
lost it.
sorry.
But don't be sorry because they found it,
Oh, they found it.
and it's on Jelly's bus, and
Oh my gosh, it's on Jelly's
I'm
bus.
just waiting to reunite with it. So until then, I got this little pink quartz, and just I put it on a in the circle in the middle of the Opry,
Okay, that's
and I
pretty
just
sick.
let it sit there.
I'm sorry, the Opry though.
Yeah,
Like that's legendary. That's
absolutely.
iconic. That's got a lot of energy
I
then in
sat there
it.
and was just like, no one touch. And it was for it's for a TV appearance, and so they were like doing blocking and everything. And so one of the producers was like, what is that thing in the circle? Like we have to move that. And I was like, please
Don't touch it.
don't touch it.
Leave it alone. It's just gonna vibe for a second.
Yeah, so it just gives me something to do. I always have to be like my hands are always have to move. Like I have to smoke a cigarette or hold. I don't know. So it's just
No, I mean, I noticed it, so I was like, it's
mm,
clearly for a reason.
yeah,
It clearly
yeah.
has something going on for
It's because
it,
I'm just
and I think that's great.
always manic and very
Aren't we all a little manic though? If we're being completely honest, like we all have those
yeah,
moments.
yeah. I, mean,
I was manic before this interview. I was walking around pacing. I'm reading my notes. I'm going
mhm.
through everything. I'm like,
You did a great job, and your voice is so great. It's so comforting, and like,
thank
yeah, your
you,
questions are great.
thank
Except for
you.
question four, you said, I'm just
Knew
kidding.
that was gonna be the one. I literally said that was gonna be the
Yeah,
one.
question four.
I said that was gonna be the one. I appreciate you so much. Thank you so much for doing this. We are so
Oh
excited to
man,
see you
thank
on
you. Thanks
stage.
for having a nice bit of research and come in and let me. You taught me some things about
You
myself, so that
you
means a
give
lot
me an
to me.
hour, MGK, and I will run through the craziest questions for you. We'll have an entire like in-depth conversation one day.
Well,
These are always like
like the
so quick.
Terminator says, I'll be back.
Yes, hell yeah, that's what I like to hear. I'm so excited for you on stage. Everyone's waiting for you. So I'm not
Thank
going to take
you.
any more time up because everyone's going to start getting mad at me outside. But thank you for being
Thank you,
here.
guys.